So I want to talk about the trend happening, or really not trend, the fact happening right now in America and in the world, where you have these just mega corporations like Apple, Amazon, and soon to be others that are becoming trillion-dollar companies in terms of the value. And at my core, I'm really an economics guy. I know obviously I work in the technology industry, but I've always been really interested in economics and was even going to get my PhD in economics before I kind of decided to invest my time in business. And the reason I think this is such an important fact that is happening right now is that we're at a time in the world where technology is getting so advanced, where these major technology companies are essentially building like these winner-take-all effects, like Facebook. I mean, if you look at Facebook as the perfect example, where it's literally a winner-take-all effect. There is no other Facebook. There's no really alternative to Facebook, or now they own Instagram and WhatsApp, and they've built this just conglomerate social media network where it's kind of this winner-take-all effect. And you see that with Google, and you're also starting to see that with a little bit of Amazon in the retail space. Obviously, they don't have 80% market share of retail, but it feels like they're moving in that direction. Same thing with Apple. I mean, with Apple, you have Microsoft. You really only have two options for computers. So I think what's happening in the world economy is that technology is creating these massive economies of scale. So these large corporations are taking advantage of that. And there's really no way to enter the market unless you have billions or tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars. A good example is just going back to computers. You have Apple and Microsoft that have been around forever, who are one's already a $1 trillion company. Microsoft is very close to being a $1 trillion company. The only other company that's even making a dent in trying to compete in the computer industry in terms of like building software, building computers, is Google. With they actually have a new program for computers where you actually have like Google software and no hard drive on their computers. But obviously they do have vendors, same with Microsoft. There are other computer companies using their software, but it's really only just a handful of companies that can compete. So what's happening really in today's world is that the barrier to entry is now becoming massive. And I think this is kind of a scary trend for most businesses, because it's going to happen in more and more industries. And you're already seeing it sort of taking effect in retail, which, traditionally people are like, anyone can compete in retail. But now you're seeing that Amazon effect where they're building this just massive moat where you can't compete. So I think it's just important to be aware of this and think about how maybe you can kind of survive in this new world of, the technology barrier to get into these industries.